Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of online shopping. Specifically, those ads that seem to pop up like magic right when you're searching for a product online.
Yeah, you know the ones with the product images and prices right there in the search results?
Exactly. Those eye-catching ads that make online shopping so tempting. I'm fascinated by how much they've changed the e-commerce game. It's like having a virtual storefront right there on Google.
Absolutely. It's all about grabbing the shopper's attention at the exact moment they're ready to buy.
So let's break this down for our listeners. What exactly are these ads called?
They're called shopping ads, and what makes them so different from those traditional text ads is that they're designed to be highly visual.
So instead of just a wall of text, we get to see the actual product.
Precisely. You get an image, the title, the price, the retailer, and sometimes even extra information like shipping costs or reviews, all in a visually appealing format that stands out from the rest of the search results.
It's like window shopping, but online. I know I'm way more likely to click on an ad if I can see what I'm getting, especially when I'm searching for something specific.
Oh, absolutely. That visual appeal is a huge part of their effectiveness. Think about it. You're scrolling through pages of search results, and then suddenly, bam, there's a picture of exactly what you're looking for with the price right there. It's hard to resist clicking.
No kidding. But I've also heard that these shopping ads work a bit differently behind the scenes compared to those regular search ads. Is that right?
You're right. With regular search ads, advertisers choose keywords to trigger their ads. But shopping ads rely on something called a product feed.
A product feed. That sounds a bit technical.
It is a little bit, but think of it as a super detailed spreadsheet that contains every piece of information about your products. Titles, descriptions, images, prices, categories, the works.
Okay, so basically every detail a shopper might want to know.
Precisely. This feed is then sent to the platform that's managing the ads, and their algorithms take over. They analyze all that data and match your products with relevant searches.
So it takes the guesswork out of keyword research for advertisers.
Exactly. And here's another interesting tidbit. Clicks on shopping ads can actually cost less than traditional search ads.
Really? So they're more visually appealing and they cost less?
Right.
Sounds like a win-win for businesses.
Well, there's a bit of a trade-off. While the clicks might be cheaper, the conversion rate, which is the percentage of clicks that actually turn into sales, can sometimes be lower with shopping ads. It's all about finding that right balance.
Got it. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Even though these ads seem pretty simple on the surface, there's a lot of strategy involved in making them truly successful.
Absolutely. And that's where the real work begins, setting up your campaigns and optimizing them for maximum impact.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's say we're a business owner who wants to start using shopping ads. Where do we even begin? What are the must-have pieces of the puzzle?
There are four key elements you absolutely need to have in place. First, you need an online store where you sell your products, your e-commerce platform.
Makes sense. Yeah. You need somewhere to send those shoppers after they click on your ad.
Right. Then there's that all-important product feed we talked about earlier.
Okay, the super detailed spreadsheet with all our product information.
Exactly. Next, you'll need an account with the platform that manages the ads. Think of them as the gatekeeper, making sure your products meet their standards and ensuring a positive experience for shoppers.
So they're like the quality control experts, making sure everything is up to par.
Precisely. And finally, you'll need an account on their advertising platform, which is where you'll actually create and manage your campaigns. That's where the magic happens.
So it's a multi-step process, but it sounds like it's all connected. This product feed thing seems particularly important, though. I have a feeling it could be easy to mess up if you're not careful.
You're right to be cautious. The platform is very particular about how that product feed needs to be structured and what information it should contain. If it's not done correctly, your products could be disapproved.
Oh no, so we wouldn't be able to advertise them at all.
Not until you fix the errors and resubmit your feed. But don't worry, there are tons of tools and resources available to help you create a product feed that meets all the requirements.
That's reassuring. Okay, so let's say we've got our product feed in tip-top shape and we've set up all the necessary accounts. What happens next?
Well, you'll need to prove that you own your store's domain. Once that's verified, you can upload your product feed for review.
I'm guessing they're pretty strict about what they allow.
They are. It's all about maintaining a certain level of quality and making sure the information in those ads is accurate and reliable. Think about it. Nobody wants to click on an ad for running shoes and end up on a website selling gardening tools, right?
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we've got our e-commerce platform, our perfectly formatted product feed, and our account all set up and verified. Now it's time for the main event, creating our campaigns.
Right, exactly. And this is where things get really strategic. But before we get into campaign types and all the different optimization techniques, I think it's important to manage expectations.
Okay, I'm all ears. What do we need to know?
Don't expect overnight success with shopping ads. It takes time to gather data, analyze performance, and fine-tune your campaigns to get the best results.
So, patience is key.
Absolutely. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You'll need to be patient together, analyze your data, experiment with different approaches, and keep refining your campaigns over time. But trust me, the effort is worth it.
Okay, I'm ready to dive in.
Right.
Tell me more about these different campaign types. What are our options?
Well, there used to be a campaign type called Smart Shopping, but that's been phased out. Now you have two main options: standard shopping campaigns and Performance Max campaigns.
Interesting. So, which one should we choose? Is one better than the other?
That's the million-dollar question. It really depends on your goals and how much control you want over your campaigns. Standard shopping campaigns give you granular control over your bidding, targeting, and how you group your products. You can really fine-tune everything.
So, it's for those who like to be in the driver's seat.
Yes, but that level of control also comes with more complexity. You'll need to be pretty hands-on with your campaigns.
Okay, so what about Performance Max campaigns? What makes them different?
Performance Max campaigns are all about automation and reach. You give the platform's algorithms more control using your product feed and other signals to optimize your ads across all of Google's properties, not just search results.
Wow, that sounds like a huge time saver. But I'm guessing there's a trade-off. Are we sacrificing control for convenience?
You are giving the algorithms more control. You're essentially trusting the platform to make the best decisions for your campaigns. It can feel like a bit of a leap of faith.
Decisions. Decisions. So it's kind of a trade-off. Control versus convenience, I guess.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all answer here. You really have to weigh the pros and cons and see what aligns best with your comfort level and how much time you're willing to invest.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. But let's say we've chosen our campaign type. What are some of the things we can do to make sure our campaigns are actually performing well? What are the optimization secrets?
Ugh. The optimization game. This is where we separate the rookies from the pros. And trust me, there are a lot of levers we can pull to boost those campaigns. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of bidding strategies and targeting tactics, let's talk about campaign structure. It's the foundation for everything else.
Structure, you mean how we organize our campaigns?
Precisely. And it goes beyond just basic product groupings. In standard shopping campaigns, you can use something called custom labels to add really valuable data to your campaigns.
So we can get hyper-specific with how we group our products.
Yes, this lets you create highly targeted product groups and tailor your bids based on things like sales volume, profit margin, or even seasonality. It's all about strategic organization.
That sounds incredibly powerful. So custom labels are like adding secret weapons to our arsenal.
You could say that. They give you a lot more control over your campaigns and allow you to really fine-tune your targeting and bidding strategies.
Now that's what I call strategic organization. What other optimization tricks can we use to give our campaigns a boost? I'm ready to hear more of these secret weapons.
Well, one of the most powerful techniques is something called search query level bidding. Even though you don't choose keywords up front, like with regular search ads, you can still see the search terms people are actually using to find your products.
So we can see what people are actually typing into the search bar when they find our products.
Exactly. And then you can adjust your bids based on how those search terms are performing. So if you see one particular search term converting really well, you can bid more aggressively on that term to attract more of those high-intent shoppers.
So it's like fine-tuning our targeting based on real-world data. Pretty smart. What else can we do to make sure our ads are reaching the right people? What about those do not enter signs you mentioned before?
Yes. Negative keywords. Those are your do not enter signs. Essential for filtering out all that irrelevant traffic that's just wasting your budget.
Okay, negative keywords. It's like telling the platform, hey, don't show my ads for these searches. They're not my target audience at all.
Exactly. For example, let's say you're selling high-end designer clothing. You don't want your ads appearing when someone searches for cheap clothes or discount fashion. Adding those terms as negative keywords ensures that your ads only appear when people are searching for what you actually offer.
I'm starting to see how important this is. We want to make sure every dollar we spend on advertising is reaching the right people. So, how do we actually find these negative keywords? Is it just a guessing game?
Not at all. The platform actually shows you all the search terms that are triggering your ads, along with how well they're performing. You can analyze this data and identify any irrelevant or poorly performing terms to add as negative keywords.
So it's about analyzing the data and being strategic about which searches we want to block. This is making me realize just how much data is involved in all of this. It's not just about setting up a campaign and hoping for the best. It's about constantly analyzing and optimizing to make sure everything is working as efficiently as possible.
You got it. Regular analysis and optimization are crucial because the world of e-commerce is constantly changing. What works today might not work tomorrow. So you need to stay on top of those trends to keep those campaigns performing at their best.
I'm starting to see just how much strategic thinking goes into all of this.
Yeah.
It's not just about setting up a campaign and hoping for the best. It's about ongoing analysis, optimization, and making sure our campaigns are working as hard as they can for our business.
Exactly. And that brings us to bidding strategies. How do we actually decide how much we're willing to pay for each click? That's a big decision that can have a huge impact on our budget.
Right. So talk to me about bidding strategies. What are our options?
Essentially, you have two main options: manual CPC and automated bidding.
Manual CPC sounds pretty self-explanatory. You set the maximum amount you're willing to pay for each click, right?
You got it. It gives you complete control, which can be really helpful when you're starting out and want to test the waters. You can set different bids for different product groups based on how valuable or profitable they are.
It sounds like a good way to ease into things and get a feel for how the bidding system works. But I imagine it could get pretty time-consuming to manage all those bids manually, especially if you have a large inventory.
You're right, and that's where automated bidding comes in. With this approach, you're essentially letting the platform's algorithms handle your bids for you. They use all sorts of data and signals to adjust your bids in real time with the goal of maximizing your results, whether that's clicks, conversions, or overall revenue.
Sounds like a dream for busy business owners who don't have time to constantly monitor their bids. But I can't help but feel a little uneasy about handing over that control to algorithms. Are we losing out on potential optimization opportunities?
It's a valid concern, and it's important to remember that these platforms have a vested interest in maximizing their own revenue, not necessarily yours. However, their algorithms are getting more sophisticated all the time, and they often can outperform manual bidding, especially as your campaigns accumulate more data.
So it's a bit of a trade-off, just like with campaign types. Control versus convenience.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong answer, and the best approach will vary depending on your comfort level with automation and how much time you have to devote to campaign management.
Okay, I'm starting to see just how much strategic thinking goes into all of this. It's not just about setting up a campaign and hoping for the best. It's about ongoing analysis, optimization, and making sure our campaigns are working as hard as they can for our business.
Absolutely. And there's one more optimization tactic I want to highlight: remarketing.
Ah, yes, the art of bringing back those window shoppers for another look. I've heard about this before, but I'm not exactly sure how it works. Can you explain how we can use remarketing with these shopping ads?
Of course, remarketing lets you target people who have already visited your website or interacted with your products in some way. It's a powerful way to re-engage those potential customers and remind them about what they might have missed. Think of it like a gentle nudge to say, hey, remember that awesome thing you were looking at? It's still here and it's waiting for you.
I love that analogy. It's like a friendly reminder that says, don't forget about us.
Okay.
So how do we actually make remarketing work with these campaigns? Is it any different from traditional remarketing?
It can be, yes. In standard shopping campaigns, you can add specific remarketing audiences to particular ad groups within your campaigns. This means you can customize your bids based on whether someone has visited your site before.
Okay, so someone who added an item to their cart but abandoned it might see a different ad than someone who just browsed a few products. We can tailor our message and our bids to those who are close to buying.
Exactly. You can bid more aggressively for those who are almost ready to convert, enticing them back with a special offer or a reminder about the items they left behind.
That makes so much sense. It's all about targeting the right people with the right message at the right time.
Precisely. And when it comes to Performance Max campaigns, remarketing works a bit differently. The system automatically uses all the audiences you've created in your advertising account. But you can guide the platform's optimization efforts by providing what are called audience signals.
Audience signals, what are those?
Think of them as clues you give the algorithms, suggesting which types of audiences they should prioritize. You're not directly controlling the bidding or targeting, but you're helping the system understand who to show your ads to.
So it's like giving the algorithms a little nudge in the right direction, even though they're ultimately in control.
That's a great way to put it. It's about finding that balance between automation and strategic guidance.
This is all so helpful. I feel like I'm starting to grasp the key differences between these two campaign types. Standard shopping gives you more granular control, while Performance Max leans on automation and reaching a wider audience. It seems like both have their own advantages and disadvantages, so choosing the right one really comes down to your specific goals and available resources.
You've summed it up perfectly. And no matter which campaign type you choose, remember that optimizing your product feed is absolutely essential. The quality of your product data has a direct impact on how well your shopping ads perform.
Right. That trusty spreadsheet is the foundation for everything we do with these shopping ads. It's like the control center for our entire strategy. So let's talk about how we can make our product feed shine. What are some key optimization strategies we should focus on?
Well, first and foremost, optimize those product titles. They're the first thing shoppers see, so make them clear, concise, and packed with relevant keywords.
Okay, got it. Catchy titles that grab attention. What else can we do to make those products irresistible to shoppers?
Don't underestimate the power of high-quality images. Visually appealing product images can make a huge difference in how many people click on your ads. Experiment with different types of images and angles to see what resonates best with your target audience.
So we need optimized titles and eye-catching images. What else should we consider?
Pricing. It can be a sensitive topic, but it's a major factor in purchase decisions. Analyze your competitor pricing and make sure you're competitive. Even a small price difference can make someone choose a competitor's product over yours.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Competitive pricing is key. But what if our prices are a bit higher than the competition? Does that mean we're doomed?
Not at all. Remember, shoppers look at the total cost. So even if your base price is a little higher, you can make your offer attractive by minimizing shipping costs or offering free shipping promotions.
That's a great point. It's not always about being the cheapest option. It's about offering the best overall value. And that's what makes these shopping ads so powerful. We can leverage a variety of factors, images, titles, pricing, shipping costs, to make our products stand out and attract those valuable clicks.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important aspect of optimization, campaign structure. We touched on this briefly before, but it's worth diving a bit deeper.
Campaign structure, you mean how we organize our campaigns? Didn't we already talk about this with custom labels?
Yes, custom labels are part of campaign structure, but it's a much broader concept. It's about creating a framework that allows you to target your ideal customers with laser-like precision.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this framework. How do we create this laser-like precision?
One of the most powerful techniques is to use those custom labels we talked about earlier. Remember, custom labels are like tags you can apply to your products within your product feed.
Right, those tags that help us categorize our products based on specific criteria.
Exactly. And by using custom labels strategically, you can create smaller, more targeted ad groups within your campaigns. For example, let's say you have some products with a higher profit margin than others. You could create a custom label for those high profit products and bid more aggressively for them.
Ah, that makes sense. We're focusing our budget on the products that are most likely to bring in the biggest return. It's like prioritizing our efforts for maximum impact.
Precisely. And this is where campaign structure really shines. By using custom labels and creating a strategic framework, you can make sure your ads are reaching the right audience and that your budget is being used efficiently.
This is all incredibly insightful. I'm starting to see just how much strategic thinking goes into making these shopping ads successful. It's not just about throwing money at ads and hoping for the best. It's about being smart, being strategic, and constantly analyzing and optimizing to stay ahead of the game.
You've got it. It's a constantly evolving world, but once you understand the fundamentals and the different levers you can pull, it becomes much easier to navigate.
Well, I'm eager to learn more. I'm starting to see just how powerful these shopping ads can be when they're done right. And I can't wait to dive deeper into the world of bidding strategies, A/B testing, and all those other optimization techniques we've been talking about. So much to explore.
There is, and it's a journey that never really ends, but that's part what makes it so exciting.
I'm ready for the challenge. Bring on those optimization secrets.
Let's do it.
Okay, listeners, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll continue our deep dive into the world of shopping ads and reveal even more strategies for success. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deeper into the world of shopping ads. And before the break, we were just starting to talk about remarketing.
Yes, Remarketing. It's all about re-engaging those shoppers who have already expressed some interest in your products or your brand.
You mean those people who browsed around my site but didn't buy anything? Is there really a way to bring them back?
Absolutely. Remarketing is like a friendly reminder that gently nudges those shoppers back to your store. They might have gotten distracted or simply needed more time to think things over.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here, but how do we actually make remarketing work in the context of these shopping ads?
Well, there are a few different approaches depending on which campaign type you're using. With standard shopping campaigns, you can actually add specific remarketing audiences to certain groups within your campaigns.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. If someone added an item to their cart but didn't complete the purchase, we could show them a different ad than someone who just visited our homepage and browsed a few products.
Exactly. And you can even adjust your bids based on how likely someone is to convert. So for those shoppers who were close to buying but abandoned their cart, you might bid more aggressively to try to win them back.
That makes so much sense. It's like giving those hesitant shoppers a little extra encouragement to come back and complete their purchase.
Precisely. And when it comes to Performance Max campaigns, remarketing works a little differently. The system automatically uses all the audiences you've created in your advertising account, but you can guide its choices by using those audience signals we talked about earlier.
Right. Those clues we give the algorithms to help them understand our target audience.
Exactly. By providing those audience signals, you're helping the algorithms prioritize which shoppers to show your ads to.
So even though we're giving the platform more control with Performance Max, we can still subtly influence its decisions by providing those hints and suggestions.
That's a great way to think about it. It's all about striking that balance between automation and strategic guidance.
I'm starting to get a real feel for how strategic these shopping ads really are. It's not just about throwing money at ads and hoping for the best. It's about understanding your audience, crafting the right message, and using all the tools at your disposal to reach those potential customers.
Exactly. And speaking of those tools, let's talk a bit more about product pricing.
Pricing. The eternal struggle for every business owner. I know it's important, but it can also be a really tricky thing to get right.
You're telling me. Pricing is a huge factor in purchase decisions, and shoppers are always on the lookout for the best deals. So if your prices are too high, you risk losing customers to your competitors.
Okay, so competitive pricing is key. But what if our prices are a bit higher than the competition? Does that mean we're automatically out of the game?
Not necessarily. Remember, shoppers look at the total cost, not just the price of the product itself. So even if your base price is a little higher, you can still make your offer more attractive by offering things like free shipping or discounts.
So it's not always about being the cheapest option. It's about finding ways to add value and make the overall purchase more appealing to the shopper.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about these shopping ads. You have so many different levers. You can pull images, titles, pricing, shipping costs to make your product stand out and attract those valuable clicks.
Okay, I'm seeing how all of these pieces fit together. But I'm curious, with all these strategies and potential pitfalls, what does success actually look like in the world of shopping ads? Can you give us an example?
Of course. Imagine this. You're selling handmade jewelry online, and you've been running shopping ads for a few months, but you're not seeing the results you were hoping for. Click-through rates are low, conversion rates are even lower, and you're starting to get discouraged. What do you do?
Oh, I've been there. That feeling of, what am I doing wrong? It can be really frustrating. What would you suggest in that scenario?
The first step is to take a deep breath and resist the urge to panic. Then it's time to put on your detective hat and start digging into your data. Analyze your product feed, review your campaign structure, and really examine your bidding strategy. Are there any red flags? Is your product information accurate and complete? Are your bids too high or too low? Often, making a few key adjustments can make a world of difference.
It's like fine-tuning a machine. We need to identify the parts that aren't working smoothly and make adjustments until everything is running like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination. It takes time to gather data, analyze performance, and really fine-tune those campaigns. Don't expect overnight miracles. Be patient, be persistent, and be willing to experiment and learn as you go.
So success is not just about hitting a certain number of sales or achieving a specific ROI. It's about constantly learning and improving, right?
Absolutely. And when it comes to shopping ads, there's always room for improvement. There's always something new to learn, a new strategy to try, a new way to optimize those campaigns.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. This is making me realize that shopping ads aren't just about throwing money at a platform and hoping for the best. It's about being strategic, data-driven, and always looking for ways to improve.
You got it. And when you approach shopping ads with that mindset, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. You can drive sales, build brand awareness, and create lasting relationships with your customers.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. I feel like I'm starting to see the bigger picture of how shopping ads work and the strategic thinking required to make them successful. But before we wrap up, I have one more question for you. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out with shopping ads? What are some key takeaways to keep in mind?
That's a great question. My top piece of advice for beginners is to focus on building a strong foundation. And that starts with your product feed. Think of your product feed as your digital storefront. It's the first impression shoppers will have of your products, so make sure it's accurate, complete, and visually appealing. Don't rush through it. Take the time to do it right, and it will pay off in the long run.
Okay, so a well-crafted product feed is essential. Got it. What other advice would you give to someone who's just starting out?
Don't be afraid to experiment. These platforms offer so much flexibility and customization. Try different bidding strategies, test different ad formats, and see what resonates best with your audience. And don't forget to track those results so you can see what's working and what's not.
It's all about testing and learning and finding what works best for our unique business.
Exactly. And remember, patience is a virtue. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are successful shopping ads campaigns. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt. But if you approach it with the right mindset and a commitment to continuous improvement, you can achieve some pretty amazing results.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of shopping ads. I feel like I've learned so much about their potential, the strategic thinking involved, and the importance of data-driven decision-making.
It's been a pleasure sharing my knowledge with you. And remember, the world of e-commerce is constantly changing, so stay curious, keep learning, and never be afraid to experiment.
I love that. Embrace the learning process and never stop exploring. To our listeners, we encourage you to dive into the world of shopping ads and see what they can do for your business. And join us next time as we wrap up this deep dive and share some final thoughts and insights on how to master this ever-evolving advertising landscape. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of shopping ads. I'm so excited to continue this conversation and uncover even more strategies for success.
Me too. We've covered a lot of ground already, but there's still so much more to explore.
Before the break, we were talking about the importance of data analysis and continuous improvement. And it made me wonder, with all these different optimization techniques and strategies, what does success actually look like in this world of shopping ads?
That's a great question, and I think it's important to remember that success can look different for every business. It really depends on your specific goals and what you're hoping to achieve with your shopping ads.
Right. Every business is unique. But can you give us some examples, maybe paint a picture of what success might look like for different businesses?
Of course. Let's say you're a small business owner who's just starting out with shopping ads. Your main goal might be to simply increase brand awareness and drive traffic to your website.
Makes sense. You want to get your name out there and introduce people to your products or services.
Exactly. So for you, success might look like a steady increase in impressions and clicks on your ads. You might also see a bump in website traffic and social media engagement as more people become familiar with your brand.
Okay, so those are some good early indicators of success for new business. What about for more established businesses that are already generating sales online? What might success look like for them?
Well, for a more established business, success might be measured in terms of actual sales and revenue generated from those shopping ads.
Right. They're not just looking for awareness anymore. They're looking to convert those clicks into actual paying customers.
Exactly. So for them, success might look like a steady increase in conversion rates and a decrease in cost per acquisition. They might also see an increase in average order value as they attract more high-intent shoppers.
Okay, so it's really all about aligning your definition of success with your specific business goals. Whether it's brand awareness, website traffic, or actual sales and revenue, you need to track the metrics that matter most to you.
Precisely. And that's where data analysis comes in. The platforms we've been talking about provide a wealth of data that you can use to track your progress, identify areas for improvement, and ultimately achieve those goals.
It's all about being data-driven and using those insights to optimize those campaigns for maximum impact.
Exactly. And that's one of the most exciting things about this world of shopping ads. It's constantly evolving, which means there's always something new to learn and new ways to improve. It's a journey of continuous learning and discovery.
I love that. It's not a set it and forget it type of advertising.
Yeah.
It requires ongoing attention, analysis, and a willingness to adapt and evolve.
Absolutely. And that's what makes it so rewarding when you see those campaigns start to perform and those sales numbers start to climb. It's a great feeling, knowing that your hard work and strategic thinking are paying off.
So inspiring. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for the complexity and the potential of shopping ads. It's not just about throwing money at a platform and hoping for the best. It's about being smart, strategic, data-driven, and always looking for ways to improve.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's been a pleasure sharing my insights with you today. And to our listeners, I encourage you to dive into the world of shopping ads and see what they can do for your business. There's a whole world of possibilities out there just waiting to be explored.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to take what we've learned today and put it into practice. Thank you so much for guiding us through this deep dive.
You're very welcome. And remember, the world of e-commerce is constantly changing, so stay curious, keep learning, and never stop experimenting.
I'll definitely keep that in mind. To our listeners, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of shopping ads. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. And until next time, happy advertising.